Imagine this: you're standing at the edge of an endless desert, where each grain of sand symbolizes eternity. The ancient Egyptians believed that great power lay hidden in simple things, a power that could connect us with eternity. What if what we consider insignificant actually holds immense meaning? Stay with us until the end of this video, and you'll discover how the simple objects that surrounded the ancient Egyptians became their key to eternal life. Ancient Egypt is a world full of mysteries and symbols. In every aspect of their culture, there is a deep connection to eternity. One of these symbols was sand. The Egyptians saw the sands of the desert not just as barren land, but as a material representation of time. Every gust of wind that lifted and moved the grains reminded them of the eternal flow of time, the cycle of life and death. But sand wasn't the only symbol of eternity. The waters of the Nile, which brought life to the fields each year, were considered the embodiment of infinity. Its journey from the source to the delta symbolized the soul's path, striving for eternal life. The ancient Egyptians believed that every being and every natural phenomenon was connected to eternity. The pyramid is another vivid symbol of the Egyptian philosophy of eternity. Built with incredible effort, the pyramids were not just tombs for pharaohs. They were symbols of eternal life, a hope for immortality. Every stone placed in a pyramid symbolized a step toward eternity. These majestic structures stood as reminders that even the simplest things could have profound significance. Many Egyptian amulets, such as the Ankh, the symbol of life, and the Wedjat, the Eye of Horus, carried the idea of eternity. The Egyptians believed that these amulets could protect them in the afterlife and ensure their passage into eternity. These seemingly simple objects played a huge role in daily life, reinforcing the belief that death was only the beginning of a new journey. Even everyday objects like mirrors held sacred meaning for the Egyptians. Mirrors, made from polished metal, reflected not only the outer appearance but also the soul. The Egyptians believed that in a mirror, one could see their true self and connect with eternity. This is yet another example of how simple things became a key to eternity in the hands of the Egyptians. Many ancient Egyptian temples and monuments were aligned with specific stars and planets. This, too, was not accidental. The Egyptians believed that stars were the souls of ancestors who had attained eternal life. They sought to connect their lives with cosmic rhythms to maintain this bond forever. Stars and celestial bodies were not just points in the sky, but guides to the world of eternity. Plants like the lotus were also linked to the idea of eternity. The lotus, blooming on the surface of the water, symbolized birth and rebirth. The water on which it floated symbolized infinity, while the flower itself represented life emerging from that infinity. This is another example of how simple things held sacred meaning in ancient Egyptian culture. Large architectural projects, like the Temple of Karnak, were also symbols of eternity. These temples were built over centuries and continuously expanded. For the Egyptians, this was a way to show that their connection to eternity was unbroken and continued to develop and deepen with each generation. Even writing hieroglyphs played a role in preserving eternity. Each hieroglyph was a symbol with magical power. Scribes creating texts on the walls of temples and tombs believed that their words would survive the ages and convey knowledge and wisdom to future generations. Thus, writing became a way to pass on eternal truths through the ages. Egyptian music and dance were also connected to eternity. Music was used during rituals and festivals dedicated to gods and ancestors. Dances and songs accompanied important moments in life and were a way to connect with eternity through movement and sound. For the Egyptians, music and dance were not just entertainment but sacred acts that could open the door to eternity. The ancient Egyptians understood that humans were part of a great cosmic order. Their philosophy was that each of us is a link in the infinite chain of time. They believed our task was to maintain harmony in everything around us, thereby preserving our connection to eternity. This idea was expressed in everything from rituals to daily actions. Death for the Egyptians was not the end, but a transition to another world. They believed that proper rituals and adherence to traditions would help them reach eternity. Mummies, carefully prepared for the afterlife, were not just bodies but vessels for the soul embarking on an eternal journey. The Egyptians meticulously prepared for this transition, knowing that their life would not end with death. Belief in eternity was an integral part of Egyptian culture. Everything they did was aimed at preserving this connection and ensuring immortality. This belief gave them strength and confidence, helping them overcome challenges and look to the future with optimism. For the Egyptians, eternity was not an abstract idea, but a real goal they pursued throughout their lives. In the modern world, we can learn much from the ancient Egyptians. Their ability to see eternity in simple things teaches us to value every moment of life. We can find our own sands of time that will help us find harmony and wisdom. It's important to remember that even the most ordinary things can have deep meaning if we're ready to see it. So, how can we apply this ancient wisdom to our lives? Find your connection to eternity. Whether it's nature, art, or just moments of silence and reflection, each of us can find something that will inspire and guide us. The Egyptians knew that eternity begins here and now, and we can feel that too. The sands of time remind us that life goes on, no matter what. Like the Egyptians, we can draw strength and inspiration from simple things. It's important to remember that our life is part of something greater, and that each day is a step on the path to eternity. The sands of time keep moving, and we can find our connection to the infinite in them. Think about the sands of time surrounding you. What helps you feel connected to eternity? Maybe it's nature, art, or just moments of silence and reflection. Like the Egyptians, you can find something that will inspire and guide you on the path to wisdom and harmony. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the sands of time. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear what inspires you and what you consider your key to eternity. Share your thoughts, and maybe your story will become the topic of our next video. Together, we can continue to uncover the secrets of the ancients and find answers to modern questions. Subscribe so you don't miss new videos, and remember that eternity begins here and now. See you in the next video.